You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Macy Eglund. A Long Beach man has been sentenced to 5 to 12 years in prison for a drunken motorcycle crash that killed a teacher. Christopher Flores pleaded guilty to the charges relating to the Rockville Center crash. Prosecutors say 42-year-old Scott Brower was crossing Merrick Road when he was hit and killed by the bike. In court today, Flores said he's sorry. Brower's sister spoke to the court.
I do have empathy for Mr. Flores, as I think my brother would have as well, and I appreciate his statement, but it will be never be enough and will never bring my brother back.
A blood test shows alcohol and marijuana were in the defendant's system during the crash. The 29-year-old had previously been convicted for a DWI in 2016. A new milestone in the fight against ghost plates and toll violators. The governor says more than 1,500 vehicles have been impounded and more than 12,000 summons have been issued. 339 people have been arrested.
It's not right when drivers, many of whom are tooling around in a Rolls Royce, a Bugatti, a Mercedes, a Land Rover, whatever, are stiffing New Yorkers.
Multiple agencies work together to crack down on the violators at the Queens Midtown Tunnel, Williamsburg Bridge, RFK Bridge, and Bronx Whitestone Bridge. A street has been renamed for an Army veteran who died in a car accident. Evergreen Avenue is now Marcos Ledesma Way. The 31-year-old was also a volunteer firefighter for the East Brentwood Fire Department.
He lit up our department. He's an everyday hero, and I commend him for that. I commend him for his sacrifice.
The Islip community gathered on the 2-year anniversary of the accident. The single vehicle crash happened on the Southern State Parkway. A beloved Huntington Indian restaurant has closed its doors. House of India served its final dish on Sunday. The decades-old eatery was run by the Singh family, who immigrated to the U.S. more than 40 years ago. The family says after serving the community for decades, it's time to pivot toward something new. Microplastics in the Long Island Sound can wind up in your body. It's a story you'll see only in Newsday. Microplastics are polluting Long Island Sound and waterways around the world.
It's right now to the point that it's threatening human health.
Local researchers say 97% of the water samples tested in a recent study contained plastics, with higher levels on the West End, near Greenpoint, Brooklyn, and at The Race, a prime fishing spot off Fisher's Island.
When you're near an urban environment, you get a lot of microplastics.
One of the biggest sources, according to Lucy, is sewage treatment plants.
They're not designed to filter them out.
Some call it a crisis that's not only impacting the environment, it's harming our health.
Yes, these microplastic particles have been found everywhere. So in the air, we are respiring these particles. We are eating, we are drinking these particles.
Most of it comes from things like plastic packaging, fish and other seafood, and your bottled water. But you can reduce the use and slow the spread. Experts say filter your drinking water, use paper products, and avoid plastic packaging whenever possible. Wear natural fiber clothing rather than polyester or fleece. And buy a filter for your washer, which can remove more than 90% of microfibers. And always properly dispose of your garbage so it doesn't end up in our waterways.
We really, as a society, we really need to decide, do we have to have this much convenience? Are we willing to poison ourselves just for some convenience?
You can read more about microplastics. Go to our website, newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. There is a new addition to the Knicks. Our Newsday Knicks reporter, Steve Popper, has more.
We're here in Westchester where the Knicks introduced Mikal Bridges, the prize of their offseason so far, making a trade with the Brooklyn Nets for the first time in over 40 years and bringing in a player who not only they feel is the final piece to a championship contending team.
Coming here just, I don't know, makes me feel like a young kid again, just with all the memories. And you know, you think when you think basketball when I was young and think about like the old school, like there's always the Knicks. Like that's what you always think about.
Not only with a fit of 3 Villanova teammates who he won championships with in college on the team, it's also a fit for Tom Thibodeau. This is a player who plays every game all year, has played in over 400 consecutive games, and is an all-defensive team player. Pairing him with OG Anunoby gives them 2 elite wing defenders.
I just know what OG brings, and that's my guy. And I think we kind of built a relationship over the years. I think just acknowledging each other and knowing what we do for our respective teams.
When you talk about challenging a team like the championship Boston Celtics, you've got to have that. This gives them that versatility. This is something that the Knicks are looking forward to as being the pieces to maybe put in place and be a championship contender for the first time in decades. This is Steve Popper, Newsday Sports.
And you can read more about the Knicks on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. This Long Island woman is arriving in England today to represent the U.S. in the knife-throwing World Cup. Ken Buffa has the story.
This is Natalie Murray, a.k.a. Savage Thrower.
My mom told me I'm not allowed to throw at people, and I follow her rules.
The 37-year-old Wantagh resident is sharpening her skills as she prepares to head across the pond to the United Kingdom to compete in the United Knife and Axe Throwers World Cup.
I have awards for throwing tomahawks long distance and rotational knives.
As the official U.S. ambassador, Murray will need razor-sharp precision in all events, including distance knife and axe throwing, spitting knife throwing, and much more.
I practice every single day for a few hours a day, and I usually have certain goals to accomplish.
So how does one get into knife throwing? Well, for Savage, it was because of her brother and how quickly life can change.
I got into knife throwing in 2017 when my brother was waiting for an organ donation. I made my bucket list of the things I wanted to accomplish in my life after experiencing such a traumatic event with a family member, and knife throwing was top of the list.
With the world stage less than a day away, Savage is spending hours in her home training center, sharing experiences with her thousands of online followers, all while making sure every toss serves its purpose: to hit the target and to inspire others.
I hope I inspire you, if not to get involved in knife throwing, to try that thing on your bucket list.
Ken Buffa, Newsday TV.
Let's take a look now at your Long Island forecast. Hot and humid lately. I'm sure you felt it. Tonight we drop down to only 73 degrees. It's going to stay warm. Tomorrow for your Wednesday, we are staying in the 80s. Mostly cloudy, but we will have a little bit of a breeze. We'll take it, right? As we look at the rest of the week, Friday and Saturday right now are looking wet. Thursday, possibly a chance right now as well. Even warmer in the days ahead, so get ready.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Sun Nation Energy, helping Long Islanders save on their energy bills for over 20 years.
You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Macy Eglund. Thanks for joining us. Hope you have a great night.